ask you, have you had a chance to reach out to Ryan? And if so, where's his mind at right now? And, you know, what kind of conversation did you guys, did you get to have about how he's doing?
Yeah, just briefly, I got a message from him on Wednesday, kind of, you know, I think the afternoon after his release. So, you know, he just wanted to thank me for stopping by the hospital after leaving the racetrack that night. So I told him that I appreciated his dad's entertainment. His dad was a pretty funny guy and was kind of lighthearted through the whole thing. So he kind of made light of the situation, and it was great to be able to talk to him and see that he's good.
Your emotions must have gone in a complete 180 in the span of maybe 2 seconds when that happened. What did you see, and how fast do you have to react from running third to, holy cow, I have a chance to win this?
Yeah, I mean, it all happened in, you know, split seconds, you know, really. And so all I saw was him kind of come across the racetrack in front of me. After that, I didn't see anything. Didn't see anything until I saw a replay when I was in Victory Lane. I asked the TV guy to come bring the monitor up there so I could watch the final lap replay. So I definitely didn't understand the severity of it until, you know, it was, you know, probably 5-10 minutes after it had happened. So, you know, we take for granted sometimes that these cars have been so safe and all the innovations and everything that people just get out and walk away. And, you know, that was just one instance where it really didn't happen.
I know that you have been involved in your fair share of wrecks at restrictor plate tracks, but you also lately have had a knack for avoiding the big ones, as it were. Is it luck? Is it something that you see in the pack as you're driving around? Can you describe what it is that you have, that you were able to go through all that on Sunday and not be caught up in a lot of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think some of it is luck. It just kind of depends on, you know, where you are in the pack when the big one comes. Some of that is luck. The skill side of it is, where do you put yourself? You know, what drivers are you racing around? What drivers are you racing around that are, you know, maybe are getting more aggressive than what you're comfortable with, and so you switch to another lane. So, you know, I'd say probably about 35% of it is luck when it actually happens. If you're behind the start of it, 65 is whether you put yourself in the right place to you know, beat the odds, I guess.
You're already out in Las Vegas for the second race of the season, and the season just goes and goes and comes at you week after week after week. Have you had a chance to kind of really think about what you've accomplished? You're in rarefied air with your third Daytona 500 title, or is that something that you're going to have to reflect on more later on this year, or after the season is over, or maybe later in your career?
Yeah, I mean, it'll take time for sure. I mean, I had just a couple days, you know, a day and a half really at home, you know, since Daytona, and we're back at the racetrack about to hit practice here today. So it's a new week. I mean, you're only as good as your last race, so we get to enjoy it for a few more days, and then we're on to a Las Vegas race this weekend. So I'm looking forward to it. I mean, obviously, I know it's very, very significant. You know, I saw in the house, we finally got the trophy in about an hour before I was leaving for the airport, but you know, having 3 of them just sitting there, it was just, I don't know, I couldn't believe it. It puts it more in perspective when I see the trophies all together than I do, you know, seeing it on paper as a 3-time.
It gives a giant boost to your entire operation, the fact that you guys get to walk around as Daytona 500 champs. But winning that race, it's one of only 4 on restrictor plates. How much does it help with the rest of your season, because you don't run at those tracks all that often?
Yeah, it really doesn't help on any of the other tracks other than Daytona and Talladega. You know, a little bit on tracks like here at Las Vegas, where there is some drafting on restarts. You'll see guys kind of linking up together and getting pushes on restarts and whatnot. But for the most part, it's kind of a beast in its own. It's a different type of skill set running super speedways than what it is in our regular schedule. So there's not a whole lot we can take from it other than, you know, we got 6 playoff points. It's going to last us through the playoff run. It's a great start to the season. We've led the most laps in the Daytona 500 last week, so we definitely have started our year off on a very high note.
Coming into last week, in your off season, short as it was, when you came in, how optimistic were you about this season, that this is going to be your year? This is the year you finally close in on that championship.
Yeah, I mean, I feel very confident. We feel like with the lack of rule changes in the offseason, the cars and the development has all been shut down for this year to start to focus on the 21 next gen car that's coming next year. That things were good very good for us in the end of in the playoffs. We were the fastest car through the playoffs last year through data. And we thought that we could continue that run right here into 2020. So it started obviously very well last week, but the true test is once we get about 4 to 5 weeks into our season and have kind of a dose of all types of racetracks, we'll see where we need to go to work, where we identify our strengths, and try to improve upon all of them.
Denny, thanks a lot for taking a few minutes with us. Your hometown is incredibly proud. Good luck this week and with the rest of the season. We'll see you here in April at Richmond Raceway.
Thanks, Lane. Appreciate it. And what's up to everyone in Chesterfield? See y'all soon.